Good morning, everyone. Mary ma'am, are you on the line? Can you hear me?
Good morning, madam. I can hear you, madam.
Okay. Mary ma'am, are you
Good
on the
morning,
line?
madam.
Good morning, sir. Mary ma'am, are you on the line?
Yeah.
Good morning,
Yes.
ma'am. Welcome to the session.
Good morning.
Is this
Thank
a slide?
you.
Yeah, is this a slide which you are looking at to start with today?
What, ma?
Is this a slide which we are going to start today? Am I in the correct slide?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, you are in the correct slide only. Yes, you are right.
Yes, ma'am. You can take over the session, ma'am. We'll start off.
Okay. We'll start off.
Yes,
Good,
ma'am.
good morning to one and all. Good morning to one and all.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
In the
Good morning, ma'am.
actually, yeah. Good morning. Yesterday we have started the new unit. That is the unit under soft skill. Under soft skill, we have just talked about skill and the importance of soft skill. And also with that, we discussed the hard skills also, which is always goes to the parallelly goes with the soft skill. Today we are going to discuss interview skills. These all are these headings. Whatever we are going to discuss today, consider soft skill. Even though we are talking about soft skill, there will be the coordination of hard skills also. Today we are going to talk about interview skills. First, we'll think of what is interview. Interview is a two-way process. Two-way process. It is a tool, an instrument, a mode to evaluate oneself or to assess the job in an organization or to see where we fit in the organization. So interview skills are the keys to successful interview. There are two keys to be successful in the interview. The two keys are preparation and practice. If you prepare and practice, your interview will be successful always. And there are easy ways to be successful in the interview. So some of the aspects we are going to discuss is, one is self-evaluation. What is self-evaluation? We have to analyze ourselves. We have to analyze ourselves and our present past experiences. To analyze one's self, present and past experiences, we can just consider what are our experiences in the present or in the past related to the job or to the matter we are going to face the interview. Again, we have to analyze ourselves, the current and future goals. We have to analyze what are the skills we have at present, what special skills you have. Next, we have to see what skills we have to develop. We might have acquired some, we might have specialized some, but still some skills to be developed and improved. We have to think of that also. And we have to give priority. If you are applying for a job or for any other higher education, anything, we have to give priorities to the location, to the salary, and also to the lifestyle. Then you have to think of what kind of people you are going to meet, what kind of environment you are going to prefer. And past experiences, you may want to highlight. Maybe volunteer work you might have done, or some hobbies you might have done, or some important travels you might have done. So according to the job you are facing, according to the higher educations or anything else you are facing, you have to prepare all these things according to the needs. The second one is, after analyzing yourself, you have to prepare for the interview. So before going for the interview, you have to prepare yourself. What? One is, you have to research the company. Researching means you have to know about the company. So to know about the company or any other organization or institution, their website will be an excellent place to begin with. Then after that, after knowing all this details, you have to practice the interview. You have to yourself list down some questions and practice with a friend. And you have to dress up. Dressing should be professional. Suppose if you do not know what dress you have to wear during interview, you can contact HRD, HR manager or recruiter to find the dress code. Dress one level above. So if they say this kind of dress, you have to dress one level above. Visual impression is very, very important during interview. Then you have to arrive at the spot little early, not on time, or after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, giving some excuses, but you should be little early. It can be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and so on. That after preparing, before interview, you have to prepare like this. Then during interview, what you must do? During interview, you must follow certain things. That is very, very important. That only will fetch you good impression on you. The first one is always, first impression takes 30 seconds. First impression for you or for the people, those who are interviewing. And to establish, you have to establish a rapport. Rapport means cordial relationship. Then you have to direct and sustain eye contact. You have to look at the eyes and talk. Then you have to give firm handshake or a namaste like that. Then you have to have warm smile, not laugh, warm smile. Warm means friendly smile. And then you have to have good posture. The way you walk, you stand and sit, these are the postures. Introducing self in a confident manner. These are the things gives you the best impression. This takes place within 30 seconds. Second one, smile. Smile denotes confidence. You have to try often during the interview. Use hand animation while you are answering to the question. This suggests enthusiasm. Then your body language, you have to concentrate on the body language when you are interviewing. Use good posture. Look at the interviewer right into the eye. Sit upright. Never slouch. Slouch means bending forward or backward or sideward, like that. The next one you have to remember is speak clearly. Your speech should be clear. Don't mumble. Speak with assurance. Assurance means definite. Next one, you have to listen before answering. If they are asking questions, you have to think, then give answer. Allow the employer to begin. Make sure you understand the question. Then take time to think before answering. Then only you will give the right answer. You should not be hasty. Give brief answers. Don't give long, lengthy answers. The answer should be very concise, brief, short, to the point. Don't ramble. Previous employers. You have to think of previous employers. Never mention anything about previous employers, either positively or negatively. The employers, those who are in present or previously, or they are going to be. Never talk anything about them. Then you should be always truthful when you are interviewed. Don't lie when you do not have anything. Suppose if they ask any questions, if you don't know, say don't. I don't know, I will learn it. That's all. Know your resume. See, you might have given a biodata, otherwise it is called a resume. You should have prepared and sent, but whatever you have written in the resume, you have to know about it, because there may be questions on that also. Then keep the things at the professional level. See, always keep the things at the professional level, not below the standard of the level. Comfortable feeling will lead you to talk what shouldn't be done. So look for something in common. See, when you look around, there will be something common which you might have experienced. So find a common bond between you and the interviewer. Suppose if anything is common with the interviewer and you can just mention. It obtains positive position over the candidate. Then always be sincere. These are the things we have to just follow during interview. Then after interview, you are coming back to your house. Before coming back, what you have to do is ask when you can get back on this decision. After the result, where you can get the result, you just ask them. Then you request the interviewers to give their business cards so that you can contact with them. Then thank every interviewer, either verbally or send letters within a day or two. Don't give up. Suppose during interview, after 10 minutes, you feel that you are not fit for this job. Don't abruptly stop that you don't want this job. You continue till the end. This may be an experience for you for the better interview in the next time. Due to companies' geographical locations, travel cost, divergent schedules, phone interview may be initial contact. So these are the things you have to follow. If you follow these things, definitely your interview will be very, very successful. And even if you don't get a job, you don't get a place, it will be an experience to get a better job for the next time. Next skill we are going to discuss is presentation skill. Presentation skill is very, very important for us, for all of us, those who are in education line, technical line, or any line. Presentation skill is very, very important. So here's some discussion. What is presentation? Presenting information clearly and effectively is a key skill. Key, important, main skill required in almost in every field. In this position, the first thing you have to do is to open up PowerPoint and spend time developing the presentation skill. So PowerPoint will help you to present your skills in a better manner. But even if you don't have presentation, with a little notes in your hand, paper notes in your hand, black and white little notes, you can give very, very successful. It is not always necessary for the PowerPoint to carry it over. So delivering an inspirational or captivating presentation requires a lot of preparation work. So when you are going to present something to the audience, to the public, or to a classroom, or to a lecture room, or anything, you need lot of preparation, captivating preparation, inspirational preparation. You have to spend time to prepare. You must not even need a PowerPoint at all. It's all the time it is not necessary, as I told you earlier. Initial fears to make public speech can be reduced with the preparation. If you prepare well, definitely the initial fear, starting problem is that will disappear with the preparation. Next one, we are going to discuss these points under presentation skill. So what is, first of all, we must say, know what is presentation. Presentation is communication. You are communicating something to the audience. Audience can be different. Communication can be in various speaking situations. It may be like groups or meetings or brief to a small team, etc. And the presentation should be step by step in an effective manner. So this point you have to keep it in your mind before presentation. Then how to prepare a presentation. Preparing a presentation. How to prepare. The preparation is very, very important. It is crucial for foundation. There should not be a shortcuts. Clear cut. As I said, clear cut presentation should be there. So you need to prepare first in a rough paper, then you put it down, then you edit, modify, and add captivating things and all into it. This is presentation. Organizing materials, how to organize a material. Next one. While preparing all these things, you need to keep it in your mind. So organizing materials, you have to aim, your aim should be to give clear and well structured delivery. So how you will organize the material, your aim should be clear. It should be well structured when you are speaking. Then say what you want to say and do what you want and say what you want to follow. So this thing should be there in your organization. Then clarity of ideas, good organization results in lovely, logical, compelling message. Next one you have to keep on your mind is writing your presentation. How to write your presentation? Start to prepare by developing ideas, selecting main points. First start like this, then you can develop little by little. And next, decide the presentation method. What method you will decide? Few people manage to give presentation without notes. They are able to give without any notes. They can manage. But what you can do is, you can manage with the full text. Full text you can manage. Or with the clue cards. With the clue cards you can manage. Or with the keywords you can manage. Or you can mind map you can manage. These are the ways of methods of presenting a presentation. Then what you have to do is, while you are presenting, you have to work with the visual aids also. Then only your presentation will be captivating or interesting. And what you have to do is, needs advanced preparation. If you want to add visual aids, you need to prepare in advance. Use visual aids wherever there is necessary. You need not put for every slide, you need not have visual aids. Whenever there is necessary, you can do it. Do not use any demonstration to your technological powers. Don't use your powers. Then it will be enhanced. These things will enhance the presentation. The visual aids will enhance the presentation. If they are managed badly, it will ruin the presentation. So we should be very careful in preparing the visual aid presentation. The next thing, after working with the aids, we have to manage the event also. Managing event can make successful or to nerves. It may be successful, it may not be successful. And coping up with the presentation now, how to cope up with the nerves. Nerves means little hesitation, a little starter, the little fear. Natural, it is natural. Nervousness is very natural. But concentrate on subject, try, test the techniques, and you will be successful. You have to cope up with the technical, with the trial. Then deal with the questions. Finally, deal with the questions. First, you present everything, then you ask the audience to ask questions, or you put the questions, or ask the audience questions, and you can just give them answers. prefer to deal with the questions at the end. Some during presentation, others at the end of the presentation. So decide whenever you wish to handle, whether you want to first or second. So these are when you are preparing for presentation, these things should be kept in your mind. That is, what is presentation, whom you are going to present, how to prepare, how to organize material, how to write your presentation, then what methods you are going to use, what are the visual aids you are going to use, and how you should be very careful in it, and how to manage the events, and how to cope up the nerves, and how to deal with the questions. These are the things you have to keep it in your mind. Related to this next topic is structuring a presentation, how to structure. There should be only this format. Structuring means there should be a format. Structuring. Structuring presentation, actually, presentation should be straightforward and it should be logical. When you are presenting, avoid complex structures. Be plain, straight. Avoid complex sentences which others cannot understand. Just avoid it. Focus on clear explanation and discussion. If you are not clear, please leave away the matter. An ideal structure for a presentation includes only these four things. These are the 4 elements for a clear, ideal presentation. One is introduction, that is welcoming or informative. It is introduction. Second one is main points in a logical sequence. Third one, transition. Transition means some inclusions which capture the attention of the audience. Then conclusion, lucid and powerful conclusion. These are the 4 things we have to just follow when we are presenting. We will just think about this. First, we'll talk about introduction. Introduction should be, see, the presenter explains the content or the purpose in the introduction. It is important to gain audience interest and confidence. So important content or purpose should be mentioned in the introduction, and it should be welcoming or informative. So introduction has some elements also. For example, you should start with a positive attitude. Positive start should be there. For example, good morning. My name is this and that. Like that, you have to start. Next, a statement of what you will be discussed. Otherwise, in the discussion, you can just start. You will give a statement and you say that this will be discussed here. Then the statement of the treatment to be applied to the topic. Suppose you can also say you are going to compare from this to the other one, or you are going to contrast, or you are going to evaluate, or you are going to describe. Like this, you can just tell them. Then the statement, introduction should be a few, 1 or 2 statements only. These statements are outcome of presentation. So presentation, whatever you are going to present next, it is the short form of a statement should be in the presentation. A statement of what the audience will need to do. So a statement which audience may wanted to know or need, that should be. So like this, there are some 6 starters, 6 elements I have given. Anyone you can start with the introduction. Next, we are going to the main points. The main points. Main points are backbone to the presentation, backbone of the speech, backbone of the lecture. It helps priorities, focus, sequence of informations. While planning, summarize the main points in short sentences and few words. Questioning self will help to communicate clearly, effectively. The main point should be embellished, supporting points. Embellished means added with the supporting points or diagrams or illustrations of the theory or practice. Supporting points should be added with the color, interesting ideas, interesting examples, but avoid overburdening. Overburdening should not be there. Limit. There should be a limit. Then we are going to talk about transition. What is transition? There should be signposts which helps audience to direct their way to the presentation. Signposts, symbols. There should be some symbols which attract the audience towards your presentation. It draws this transition, this signposts draws the attention to the presentation and to the content you are presenting. The fourth one is conclusion. Conclusion is essential, though underdeveloped. Stages of summarizing, it is a stage of summarizing the content or purpose. So you can summarize the presentation as a conclusion, or you can essential points you can just say to it. For example, the elements, a few example I'll give you. It can be a review of the topic. It can be a review, short review of the topic can be a conclusion. It can be a statement of conclusion or recommendations. Then otherwise it can indicate the next stage. So your conclusion can say what you are related to this point, this presentation, what you are going to do next. Then it can be a instruction. What happens next? So conclusion will be drawing attention of the audience what the things will be next. So they will be eagerly waiting for the next presentation. And it can be a thank you to the audience for their attention. These are the things can take place in conclusion. Any one or any 2 points to conclude this presentation. Presentation needs careful, defined structure. It should be centered with the main points, supporting points. Use transition to link or to move between points to understand the development. I think this will do. We'll go to the next topic, body language. Body language, I think it will interest you very much. And also, it is easy also. There will be a question, important questions are there. This may be a question in, if you are going to face an examination, MSc students or MPhil students, this may be a question for you. We have already discussed little in the previous lessons, but we are going in detail here. Here, body language is a form of mental and physical activity. Body language is a form of mental and physical activity. So, this form, body language, consists of posture, gesture, facial expression, eye movement. Human communication consists of, generally human communication consists of 93% of body language, paralinguistic cues. Paralinguistics, we are going to talk, paralinguistic cues, only 70% of words. This is what human language consists. Though non-verbal, this body language is also called non-verbal language. Though non-verbal language reveals feelings and meanings, it happens on the conscious and unconscious level. This includes yawning, showing lack of interest, attempt to change the topic. So this consists of eye contact and nodding head also positively. Now, we are going to just talk about the other points discuss. These are elements of the body language. This one we are going to just discuss it. If you just listen, it will be okay. You can easily understand and go through it. See, understanding the language first, understanding the body language. Paul Ekman lists out some emotions. These emotions go along with our body language. One is amusement. Second one is contempt. Third, contentment. Fourth, embarrassment. Fifth, excitement and guilt. Sixth, pride and achievement. Seventh, relief. Eighth, satisfaction. Ninth, sensory pleasure. 10th, shame. According to these emotions, our body language changes. Our body language changes and expresses these emotions. Whatever we said, no, these emotions are expressed in our body language. Then the second one we are going to talk about is physical expression. Physical expression, it is a study of body language and experience. So this what is physical expression is the study of physical expression is the study of language and experience. This is called Gynesics. It is Gynesics is a study. It is a subject. It is the study of body language and the experiences. So the expressions of the body, physical expression is waving, pointing with our physical parts, touching, slouching. All these are expressions of physical body. For example, I'll give you one or two examples. Crossing arms across the chest indicate there is a indicate and puts up a barrier between the two. Suppose if you fold your hands in front of your chest and you are talking, that means you have a barrier and consciously it is done to talk with that people. Otherwise, for example, harsh blank expression, outright hostility, constant eye contact says that you are thinking very positively. Averted gaze expresses that you have disbelief. Yet tilting says that you are boredom. So there are different emotions are expressed with the body language. Next one, we are going to talk about proxemics. Proxemics means distance.
This meeting is going to end in under 1 minute, so I shall request all of them to log on again.
Okay. I think I have to finish. I don't know.